I just got my April bill from E.ON Next, and this is the first month since our solar install back in September last year that we've managed to get a zero bill. So that means for the last month, we've been able to power our home, charge our 2 large battery EVs, and our total bill has come to £73. But that's only half the story. Our 5.8 budget solar array that's southwest facing has been hard at work throughout the month, has generated us £80.95 in export payments. So that actually means that the energy company has paid me £7.12 in absolute cash pure profit. I finally hit true net zero with our solar system, and that does actually include our gas and electric bill. So that means the solar panels paid to run the house, to heat our home, to cool our home, and even better, it fully powered our EVs for that whole entire month. And everyone knows the running costs of internal combustion engine cars at the moment, it's skyrocketing, whereas here, for this month, it's been completely covered by the solar panels on our roof, which is incredible. So in today's video, we're gonna see how much I've saved in comparison to what I would have been paying if I didn't go for a solar and battery setup. And we're also gonna take a look at and see if my budget solar and battery install is on track, that magic 5-year payback period, or could it be on track to beat that? Today's video will find out. So let's get into it. Now, before we take a look at whether or not my budget solar and battery system can pay itself off within that first 5 year, which I first set out in my first video back in January, we need to make sure that when we do these calculations, we're not making the same mistake as other people that I've seen do these what if calculations. Now, you need to make sure that when you're calculating the payback of your system, that you're not including the EVs. Because EVs, whether or not you have a solar or battery system, the vast majority of EV cars now can load shift. So there's no need to incorporate them into your payback periods. So for example, if I said to you guys, I've been able to save X amount of money with my solar and battery system, including those consumption figures from my EVs, then that's going to be wrong, because that's going to reduce the time period of what the payback is. But in truth, that load shifting can be done without that solar and battery system. So we need to be isolating those figures when we're coming to the payback period and return on investment from how much you outlaid at the start of your solar and battery journey. So for me, on my system, I paid a total of £6,300, and we need to find out how quickly that can get paid off by the savings. I call it the what if savings if I didn't have a battery and solar install. So how much value have I saved from having this system as opposed to an ulterior world where I didn't have this system? Therefore, you can calculate the payback period. So as you guys know, my system is a relatively small system to other people's that I've seen. I have a 10.36 kilowatt hour battery, which is a lot smaller than other larger systems, and certainly my solar array is a bit smaller than other systems that I've seen. So, and it's sat on a southwest facing roof. So when we come to look at the solar generation for my particular system, it's all relative to how much I paid. So I've paid £6,300. So when we look at the export figures, what I've derived that I need to make for every single month to make sure that my system will be paid off within that 5 years is I need to make £100 in savings as opposed to if I didn't have this system. So with the system that I run in this house, I run a hybrid system. So I still have a gas boiler and I have an AC air-to-air source heat pump. So the gas boiler is used for our hot water, it's used for our cooking. And just in comparison with the same month last year, before the solar battery install. So first of all, let's just look at our gas usage and how our solar and battery setup alongside with our air-to-air source heat pump has changed the way that we use our kilowatt hours on our gas boiler system. So obviously we're still going to use those things for the hot water and the cooking, but you can see in this graph that our consumption of gas has dropped quite rapidly, and this is obviously in April, but this is like for like, so this is April 2025 in comparison to April 2026. So you can see our usage went from 280 kilowatt hours in gas to 115 kilowatts. So that's a 59% reduction in what gas we're using. So straight off the bat, you can see that our solar and battery system has helped reduce our gas bill. So let's take a look at our electric bill. Now, With Fran being at home all the time on maternity leave, it is a bit skewed compared to this time last year, because like I've said in previous videos, she is the consumption queen. She'll have the TV on, she'll have the heating on full blast. Obviously we're getting into April now, so we're going to be reducing that heating, but I'm sure that she'll be using that cooling system quite a lot during the summer when she's at home. So with all that being said, we consume 230 kilowatt hours of electricity during the month of April. So without our battery soaking in that off-peak energy overnight and then filtering it back into the house, and our solar panels generating enough power to power the home, we would have been using peak energy rate pricing, and currently is around 26p, 27p on average. So by simply taking away the reliance on the peak rate energy throughout the day, we've been able to load shift and use the solar panels power to generate our own electricity, and alongside that battery it's been able to save us £54 as opposed to how much we would have paid if we didn't have this system. So that's really quite impressive. And what else is really impressive this month is that our percentage of off-peak to peak rate energy has also increased. So we've now increased our off-peak usage to 98%. So only 2% of peak rate energy used in the month of April, which is another really outstanding statistic that we've been able to accomplish. So what does that mean in terms of the 5-year payback theory? And have we met that £105 minimum amount that we need to save versus a what if scenario if we didn't have the solar and battery install? So if we take into consideration the £64 saved from electric and our gas bill combined compared to what it would have been, plus the E.ON export that we've been able to generate from our solar panels, and also Axle Energy, which again, you know my thoughts on this, is an absolute no-brainer if you have one of the supported battery brands. It gives you £10 minimum per month in additional export payments. So it's a no-brainer. So we've also got to add that on there into our calculation. So that brings our total saved versus if we didn't have the battery and solar system to £155. So we can mark that up as a very successful month. So what does that mean where we are now after 8 months of having this system, and where we are in terms of the payback timeline of 5 years? Well, you can see here, we didn't get off to a great start in September, October. We were learning the system. We were understanding how the AC heat pump worked. We were understanding Axle Energy to get them additional export payments. But by early November, we were sort of getting into the groove of how much you can save. You can see the red line there, that tells you where we needed to be per month to generate this 5-year payback period. As we're going into November, December, January, you can see we absolutely smashed those payback periods. March, not so much. And what are the projections for the next coming months to reach that year period? So from my projections, with the amount of exporting that we're going to do, and I understand that our system is a smaller system, there's going to be a lot of people out there who are generating way and above what we're generating on our roof, but that is because their system would have cost a lot more. So their payback period will have their own calculation. But bearing in mind, I don't have loads of money to put down on a massive battery and solar system. I've had to really think about sizing this to get it so that it has the earliest payback, so we can really start to reap the benefits of a system that will pay for itself, and then earning money on top of that. So you can see here that the projected year so far, if we were to continue this momentum through May, June, July and August, we should be able to smash that 5-year target. Now, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. So this 5-year payoff plan timeline can change in an instant, depending on what the government and energy companies do. So at the moment, yes, I have a fantastic tariff, and I had a fantastic tariff when I first switched over to this solar and battery system, but that can all change. So at the moment, I'm on 3p per kilowatt hour, which is absolutely fantastic. And I've got off-peak hours beyond 6 hours. So my average at the moment is 10 hours of off-peak energy, which is fantastic. And it's the only energy supplier that gives you that amount of off-peak hours depending on when you can charge your EV. So if you want to join E.ON Next Smart Drive tariff, then I've done a video on the review on that. Check it out. Use my link in the description, scan the QR code here and get £50 off in vouchers, and also help support the channel. But there is a massive elephant in the room here, and that is if export rates continue to change. So you can see here, if I drop the export rate a little bit lower, then that time of payback period gradually increases. But on the flip side to that, if peak rates increase, then that will reduce my payback period because I would have been a lot worse off. But as of right now, things are going great, so I can't complain. But I just wanted to let you guys know that these can be very volatile, and it all depends, good or bad, on export rates, on peak rates and off-peak rates and off-peak periods. So it can be subject to change. So in conclusion, the projections look really good. In the deep, dark months of winter, we were able to make a massive amount of value in terms of saving versus how much I would have paid on my bills during the winter months. The system is on defense. It's just trying to limit the amount of losses and protect ourselves from those peak energy prices. And I know there's people out there with mammoth systems who are going to be generating an absolute wad of cash every month. And even in April, their export numbers will be astronomical. But for me, with obviously my limited budget, then, my figures are going to be a little bit less. But it helps to generate a quicker return on investment. And that's what we're really going for. And that's what I really wanted in this system. So yeah, you might see other people's astronomical export figures, but they would have paid X amount for their system and X amount for their batteries. So they need those figures to sort of justify the amount spent on their system. So as it stands, with what my annual savings are at the moment of £1,600, and if you divide that by the total cost of the system, and ours was a budget system, so it was 6,300, then that gives you a payback of 3.8 years, so less than 4 years. That gives you an annual return on investment at 26.3%. I mean, if you're putting that into a bank account, you're not getting anywhere near that. And if you're going to be putting that in your trading 212 account, I can't see you getting anywhere near that without a fair bit of risk involved. And remember, you're investing your system in your house. You're making your house price go up. I mean, yes, there is a disclaimer in there that the government and energy companies could pull the rug underneath us and drop those export rates, hike the prices up of off-peak energy. But from what I've seen on videos recently is that there's a lot of surplus off-peak energy out there. So for the time being anyway, off-peak periods are going to stay as they are and off-peak rates are going to stay as low as they are. And that's because we generate so much energy in wind farms that just can't be consumed at that time. So having a battery and able to store energy in those batteries is the way to go forward, in my opinion. But right now, 3.8 years or 3 years and 10 months, that payback is very attractive. Anyway, like, hype and subscribe and all that. It really does help the channel, and it will make me push to do more videos and more content out there for you guys and updating you on my latest trials and tribulations with my solar and battery setup. But yeah, let me know in the comments how your April's been with your solar generation. How are you managing it? And also let me know what you guys have calculated your ROI have been, and if you've managed to smash through that, or it's been put back, or what I'm saying isn't really realistic. Let me know in the comments. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.